too late. I'm live. Had a few technical difficulties, but we are here nonetheless. Hey guys, welcome back to another live with myself, Tolly Frimpong. So sorry, technology was failing me, hence why I'm a few seconds late. But hopefully you guys are still up for today's session. So today I've got a few things lined up that I'm going to be talking to you guys about. So yeah, first of all, what I want to talk about is 14 places where kids can eat for cheap or free this summer holiday. So I've written down a list of different restaurants that I've researched and found out that kids can eat for free. So I'm sharing it with you guys so that, you can take your little ones there this summer holiday. I've put quite a few of them in my agenda. So I'll be taking my kids to a few of them for sure. So hopefully you guys, can check them out too. So I'll start off with supermarkets. So I've got a few supermarkets that I'm going to be sharing with you that are doing kids eat free or at a discounted rate. And then I'm going to go on to talk about a few homeware type places and restaurants. And then, homeware type places. So I'll talk about them, and then a few restaurants too. So those are the kind of three places that I'm going to be talking to you guys about. And then I'll go in to the next topic, which is how to budget for the summer holidays. So I'm going to be sharing different tips that I hope will help fellow parents out there when it comes to the summer holiday and budgeting for our little ones. Because my children broke up last week, Thursday, and already they're trying to eat me out of house and home. So I'm trying to make sure I do my best to make my budget stretch for this summer period. So 6 weeks to entertain the little ones on a budget. So let's do what we can to make sure we make the most of that budget. But thanks for the people that are joining. I see you guys joining live. Let me know where you're joining from, and let me know if you have any questions. So towards the end of the session, once I've gone through today's topics, what I'll be doing is a Q&A. I asked on my Instagram page. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, check out my Instagram at Tolu Frimpong, but also on my YouTube community tab as well. I asked if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer related to budgeting and to personal finance. And those questions I'll be answering at the end of today's session. So with that being said, let's jump into the 14 different places where your kids can eat for either free or very cheap this summer holidays. So first of all, we start with the supermarkets. I shared this first one over on my Instagram page actually of last week, and that was Asda. So in Asda's Kids Cafe, in the Asda cafes across England and Wales this summer, there's actually no minimum adult spends, and kids can eat for £1. So you can literally, if you've got 3 kids, go in there with £3 and feed all 3 of your little ones this summer. From now, it's already started running, and it's going to run all the way through August to early September. So definitely, if you're an Asda shopper anyway, it makes sense. You could just stop off and get lunch for the little ones there for £3, or you could actually make a day of it. So like for me, there's a park not too far from me when I go to church, that is, and around that area there's an Asda, so it makes sense to take the kids to the park and then go to Asda, and that's a whole fun day out for like £3 for my little ones. So things like that will kind of help keep the costs low this summer holiday, I would say, with the little kids. The next one I've got is Morrison. So Morrisons also have a discount running this summer holiday. So their Kids Eat Free does have a bit of a payment that parents have to make for themselves. So whereas with Asda, you can just literally go in and get food for your little ones. With Morrisons, I believe the minimum spend is £4.99. Yeah, so £4.99 one adult has to spend in order to get a kid's meal for free. So that's another supermarket that you want to take advantage of. I haven't shopped in Morrisons in forever, but if you do shop at Morrisons or do have a Morrisons locally to yourself, then it might be worth you taking your little ones there for free lunch or free dinner. And then now moving on to the homeware stores that are currently doing Kids Eat Free or for a significantly discounted price. First up on my list, I have Ikea. So who doesn't love Ikea? I know I do. Every time I go there, I end up spending more than I had anticipated spending. But it would be a fun day out for the kids. I actually like going to the Ikea restaurant anyway. I think their food there is quite nice for the price that you pay. But this summer, it's even cheaper than usual. So all kids eat this summer at Ikea for 95p. So that's already started running. It started on the 11th of July. And it's going to be running all the way through to the 3rd of September. So if you do have an IKEA not too far from you, or if you want to make a day of it, jump on the train and take the kids to IKEA, you can literally feed them for under £5, depending on how many children you have, of course, and how many mouths you're feeding. But I think, it's a good offer, to be honest, for the summer holidays. food is expensive at the moment. So anything we can do to kind of curb those costs, then let's do it. So then moving on, I've got Danelle. I hope I pronounced that store properly because I think I say it wrong, but correct me in the comment section if it's not Danelle, but that's how I'm saying it, okay? So you can see it on, well, you can't see it on the screen actually, but you will if you catch the replay, because I'll be able to share the slides that I'm going through on the live with you now in the replay. So definitely watch out for that because that will be coming soon. And then you can kind of see a lot more detail around the different offers in the different retailers. So in the Porza Cafe in Dunelm, they're doing kids can also eat free this summer holiday. And in that, within that offer, it's one free mini main meal, two snacks, and a drink for every £4 that has been spent in store in the cafe. So basically, if you go in there, you buy a meal for yourself, you get your kids' meal free. And I guess if you have 3 children like myself, then you're still going to have to pay for the other 2, unless you take a friend or someone else with you who can then help you qualify for an additional free kids meal. But that, I guess, if it's just you and one little one, is a worthwhile offer to take advantage of, I would say. Then we move on to another one. In fact, this is the third of the free homeware stores. I don't know if it kind of counts as homeware, but that's what I've categorized it as anyway. And that is Dobby's Garden Centre. So Dobby's Garden Centre are also running a summer holidays program where kids can eat for free. So with, again, you have to purchase an adult meal first in order to qualify for that free kids meal. So purchase an adult meal and then kids can eat for free from 12 o'clock at Dobby's Garden Centre. So if you're an avid gardener and you're planning to head to the garden or garden centre rather during the holidays, then yeah, you can take the little ones and get the meals at a discounted price. So now let's move on to restaurants. So sorry, 1 second. Oh, actually, no, it's fine. Yeah, so now we move on to restaurants. And I have 9 restaurants for you on this list. There are a few more, but I was conscious that there's quite a lot that I want to get through on this live. So if you do want to know more of them, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll definitely share the extended list with you. But for now, I'm going to go through 9 restaurants across the UK and more specifically London that are doing either kids eat free or kids eat for a discounted price. So first off, I have Pereza. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, but it is an Italian restaurant and they are doing kids eat for £1 all summer holidays. So that's Pereza, Purezza. And yeah, kids eat for £1 all summer holidays. And so I'm just reading if there is any kids eat for £1. Yeah, okay, same thing again. So I'm noticing a running theme with all these places where it's like, oh, sorry. I just saw a comment come up. Yeah, sorry. Going back to Pereza, kids eat for free all summer holidays. So definitely check that out. And then moving on, we have another Italian restaurant. We have Bella Italia. Again, kids eat for free this summer holiday. Sorry, I'm getting all these spam comments come through. Let's hide all of those because we don't need to see that distraction. Don't know if you can actually see your side, but I can see it and it's a little bit distracting. So going back to the comments, going back to my, oh Lord have mercy. How do you kick somebody out of your thing? Don't know how to block this person. Anyone there? Okay, anyway. I am just, okay, I'm just going to continue anyway with my live and hopefully you guys just ignore the comment section. Okay, so Bella Italia, like I said, kids eat for £1 all summer, but like with all the other offers, you do have to purchase an adult meal in order to get that free kids meal with it. And then we move on to the next one. It is Hungry Horse. So again, kids eat free this summer holiday at Hungry Horse, which is great. And again, there is a minimum spend. So you do have to spend up to £2.49 on an adult all-day breakfast for the kids to then have their breakfast for free. And that's at Hungry Horse. Then moving on to Yo Sushi. So for my sushi lovers, kids again eat free this summer at Yo Sushi. So terms and conditions, of course, apply. But again, I believe it's an adult meal with Sorry. Again, it's one adult meal with every kid's meal this summer. So Yo Sushi, if you like sushi, definitely check it out and take advantage of that kids eat for free. So now we move on to Beef Eater. So Beef Eater, you can have breakfast for free or at a discounted rate. So it's actually unlimited breakfast for adults for £9.50, but also kids can eat for free too with every adult that's paying. So not only is it discounted for adults, but it's also free for kids to eat there too. And then we move on to the next restaurant. I think I've got a few more on my list actually. So we have Angus Steakhouse, and kids can eat for free at Angus Steakhouse from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock weekdays. So yeah, that's a great offer again for you to take advantage of. Moving on, we've got the Real Greek. So that's a Greek restaurant, obviously, hence the name of the restaurant. Kids can eat for free on Sundays. And yeah, so that offer is actually only available on a Sunday. So kids eat for free on Sundays, every Sunday, with every £10 spent by an adult. So you'll need to buy a meal worth £10 and your child can eat for free once you do that. And that's across the summer holidays. Then we move on to the next one I've got on my list. So there's two more on the list of 9. And like I said, if you want to know about more of the restaurants where kids can eat for free in the UK this summer holiday, then do let me know in the comment section below. And I can, of course, share that with you in the comments or in a further part 2 to this video. And we've got the next one, number 8 on the list, is Barbican Kitchen. So Barbican Kitchen is, yeah, a restaurant in the Barbican in London, and kids can eat free there. It's kids under the age of 12, they can eat a free small pizza with every adult that orders from the hot menu. So if you buy a meal, again, your child eats free at the Barbican Kitchen. And yeah, that's located on the ground floor in the Barbican. And finally, last but not least, on my list, we have Cafe Rouge. So kids eat for £1 at Cafe Rouge this summer holidays, which is fantastic. So all of these restaurants that I've shared with you across the supermarkets, across restaurants, and of course across the homeware. Wow, let's start that again. So all the restaurants that I've shared with you across supermarkets, homeware brands, and also restaurants are feeding our children for literally £1 or less, which is absolutely amazing given the cost of food at the moment. Like, it's so expensive. Going to the supermarket, like, as much as I do a shopping list and I have my food budget, it's getting out of hand. Like, literally, food is getting so expensive. So things like this definitely do help to take that weight off a little bit, because yeah, you do want your children to enjoy food outside. Sometimes you don't want to always give them, I know we always say, or should I say, I always say there is rice at home, and there is always rice at home. But at the same time, kids do also, need a treat once in a while. So if you can give them a treat and do it for free or for a very significantly subsidized rate, then I think that's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, those are the 14 restaurants that I have, or 14 places rather. Those are the 14 places that I have where your kids can eat for free or cheap this summer holiday. I know for myself, in my plan, I've put a few of those restaurants and I'm planning to take my kids there this summer holidays. But yeah, let me know if any of them appeal to you, if you're planning to take your little ones there this summer holiday too. Okay, so now we move on to the next part of today's live and today's conversation. And I'm going to be sharing with you, okay, so now I'm going to be sharing with you how to budget for the summer holidays. So I'm going to be sharing with you how to have an amazing summer holiday with your little ones on a budget. So the first thing I want to suggest, and it's what I've done this year, so I'm actually for once taking my own advice, and that is to plan out your summer holidays. So actually create a plan for the summer holiday. Where do you want to take your children? How much is it going to cost to go to these places? How many days are you going to take them out? How many days are you going to stay at home? What is the plan? What does it look like on a day-to-day basis for the 6 weeks holiday? So for me, I've sat down and I've literally planned out my 6 weeks holiday, exactly where the kids are going to be going and how much it's going to cost. And that's allowed me to know exactly what my budget is for the summer holidays. There are things that I wanted to do that I had to remove from the plan because I couldn't afford to do it this summer. However, I think just having that budget, having a plan for the summer holiday just really means that I know what I'm doing and I know exactly what I can afford to do. So I think if you haven't planned out the holidays, I know we're in week one already, so you might think it's too late and you just think, okay, I'll start from next year. But don't have that mindset, don't have that attitude. It's not too late to plan. There is still 6 weeks or 5.5 weeks left of the summer holidays, and you really want to make sure you're kind of getting the most bang for your buck and your kids are having an enriching holiday, but you're not going to be suffering the consequences of that holiday in 6 weeks' time. So, yeah, I'll definitely say it's not too late to plan. If you can plan today, start planning today. Just literally, I use Google Docs, not even Google Docs, sorry. I use Google Sheets. Just on Google Sheets, write the places you want to go, the address, how much it costs, the time you want to go there, and any other booking information. And just, yeah, literally tally it up and see if it's affordable. If it's not, what alternative can you do to achieve that same result, but at a lower price? So, like, for example, in my book, lol, in my a recent video that I uploaded where I shared 30 things for you to do this summer holiday with your children on a budget. I literally spoke about things you could do for free or for cheap with your children. And like one of the examples would be go to a farm with your children. Now, there are farms that are local, which are free, but then there are ones like Old MacDonald Farm where you have to pay to enter. And I guess it's a more extravagant experience and it costs you obviously have to pay. And of course, you obviously have to pay for that. So I think it's just seeing how you can achieve the same result. You want them to see animals, they can see animals at the free farm or they can see it at the paid one. But just, yeah, seeing where you can make those cost savings is what I would suggest doing. So, yeah, point one, plan for your summer holidays, create a plan, and yeah, you should be okay. Failure to plan is planning to fail, like I like to say. So, definitely plan, plan, plan. And it's not too late to start. You can literally start today. The next thing I want to say is create a budget for your summer holidays. So if you haven't yet created a budget, don't leave your house again until you've created that budget. I would definitely recommend doing so. How much are you spending for this week, the rest of this week 1, week 2, all the way to week 6 of the summer holidays? What does that look like? What does the budget look like? Is it £100 a week, £50 a week, £200 a week, £500 a week? Whatever your budget is, set it and be quite strict with it so that you don't end up overspending each week, and then come the end of the summer holidays you're thinking, oh my days, these kids have cost me a fortune. Like, you don't have to spend a fortune on the summer holidays for them to have an enjoyable experience. But I think the main thing is, I guess, going back to point one, is planning ahead and creating that budget and creating that conscious spending plan for the summer holidays for your little ones. So yeah, I'd say definitely do that, create that summer holiday budget, look at what you can afford and go from there. Divide whatever the total amount is you have for the 6 weeks by 6, and then you'll know how much you have for each week. Or you might want to do it 1 week where it's action packed, and the next week we chill at home and do indoor activities, and then week 3 we're out again. And however you want to tally it up, really, or split it up. The main thing is just making sure that that budget that we set, we try our hardest not to break it or not to go over it. The next thing I would say is have no spends each the next thing I would say is have no spend days each week over the summer holidays. That's something I'm doing with my little ones. So it's been kind of easy for me to include that into my plan, because Tuesdays my sons tend to be at their grandma's house. So that doesn't cost me anything because they're with grandma. And then Monday and Wednesday I'm working from home. So all the activities that they would be doing will be around the home. If anything, I may take them to the local park or to a park that's not too far away from me. But Thursday and Friday really are now our going out days for the summer holiday and also the weekend. So 3 out of 7 days of the week will basically be no spend days for me, which is good, which means that I'd only really be spending money on the other days of the week when the kids are with me. And even with that, there's a budget, there's a plan, and it's capped. So definitely incorporate no spend days into the week, and that will help you stick to that budget that you create yourself for the summer holidays. Because yeah, if you don't have those no spend days, it's just so easy for you to just spend money. And if you say to yourself, okay, no, today I'm not spending anything on activities or food or anything, literally I'm just going to work with what we have at home, you'll be surprised at how much money you're able to save yourself. I challenge you to actually do that for the 6 weeks holiday, actually, and make a note of how much you would have spent that day. So I don't know if you were thinking, oh, let me quickly get a takeaway today, and then you don't do it, to calculate that 30, £40 that you would have spent and just tally that up over the course of the 6 weeks holiday. And I think you'll surprise yourself at how much money you could have potentially spent, which you didn't spend, just by having those few no spend days here and there. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 4, I'd say look at 3 things to do with your kids. So that goes on from what I was saying previously in terms of finding ways to entertain the kids for free or on a budget. So I've got loads of different ways that I'm planning to entertain my kids for free this summer holidays. I talked about them again in that video, which I will link in the description box below, where I was sharing 3 things to do this summer holidays. A lot of that were things that you could do at home or in your local area for free. Things like going to your local parks, going to your local playgrounds, going to the local water parks, going to your local library, going for a picnic, all these things, camping in the garden. Like there's just so many things that you could do at home that won't cost you anything. And just look for those kind of free activities, or think of those free activities. But also, in addition to thinking of those activities, look at what's available in your local area. So with that being said, places like Facebook groups, places like Pinterest, places like the local library, all of these places will offer you ideas and suggestions of things happening locally to you that you could take your little ones to. So definitely take advantage of that and look into doing so. I'd also say speak to friends and family, because they probably have ideas that you may not have even considered. I know I found a festival taking place locally in my area that is free for kids. I found it on Eventbrite. I wouldn't have found it if I hadn't been researching things to do for free with kids on that website. But literally, there's a wealth of information out there, and there's so many ideas of things you can do that your little ones would love for free or for cheap, that you don't need to necessarily break the band. You don't need to necessarily break the bank in order to give them the most unforgettable summer holidays ever. Um, Next on the list, I would say, is when you do go out with your kids or you go to any kind of fun excursion or do any fun activity with them, take a packed lunch. Like take your snacks, take your lunch if you can, take bottles of water, take drinks for the kids, take fruits, all these things. Take it with you in their little backpack, in a little lunch box, so that you're not spending a fortune when you do go to these places, because that is where you will end up finding yourself spending money that you don't want to spend. It's on things like food. So if you can take food with you, definitely take it. Just a little bit of planning ahead and a bit of prepping before you leave the house could literally save you like 20-30 pounds minimum on a little day trip out with the little ones. So yeah, I would definitely say that will really help you. Also, I would say, oh, okay. Yeah. So at this point, I gave you 14 restaurants earlier that said kids can eat for free, right? So I would recommend taking your kids to those places. So try a couple on that list where kids can eat for free at a discounted price, because that's going to really save your budget and save you so much money, as opposed to going to a restaurant and spending £10 per child, or at least £7 per child. Why not go to a restaurant where you don't have to pay for that child and you still have a nice, fun dining experience? So it might not be necessarily your restaurant of choice, like your number one restaurant that you wanted to go to, but if it means that you're still having that nice dining out experience and saving yourself what, 20, 30, 40 pounds, then I think it's where I personally think it's worth it. Another thing I'd say that would help you save money this summer holidays and ensure you don't bust your budget is book online or book in advance. So yeah, definitely book online or book in advance when you're going to these summer excursions. I think one thing I've learned this summer holidays from being organized for once and planning ahead is that there is money to be saved by being organized. So for example, one of the events that I'm taking my kids to is Brick Live. I think that's what it's called. Brick Live, whatever it is anyway. It's like some Lego event that's taking place in London, right? And they had discounted tickets which ended like last week sometime. I can't remember what day it was now. I think it's like the 15th or something is when the discounted tickets ended. So if you book before that day, you get you get one ticket free, which is worth like £21. Whereas if you don't, you pay per person. So just by me booking in advance, I was able to save that £21 on the trip. This is one of the more expensive things that we are doing for the summer holidays, but it is something that I know my kids will love. So that's why I'm doing it. But the point I'm making here is that yeah, it is good to plan in advance, because just by doing that, we were able to save that money. Whereas Tolu is usually that person that just pays on the door when I get there, and then I end up paying an additional premium for paying on the door. So definitely, where you can, book online, because it generally is cheaper to book online than it is to pay on the door. So if you can do that, I would say do that. Pay online rather than paying on the door when you arrive at the venue. Another thing that's going to really help you with that summer holiday budget is to track your expenses. So this is something that I've spoken about a lot just when it comes to budgeting and the management of your personal finances. But if it's something that you've never done before, or you don't really do, or you're not familiar with doing it, it's something I suggest you give a go this summer holiday. Tracking your expenses is just as simple as on your phone, on a notepad, on an Excel tracker, however you want to do it. Even there's a few budgeting apps that you could use, like Emma or Money app. So there's loads of apps that basically help you with that as well. I even have my budget template, my budget planner, which has an expenses tracker within it. I'll link that in the description box below so you can check that out. But just having a budget planner and tracking your expenses, so saying exactly what you spent, where, and how much that costs, it really helps you to curb your impulse spending, is what I find, because that inconvenience and the annoyance of having to like literally write down every little transaction sometimes stops you from even making that purchase, just because you can't be bothered to have to document it. And just in general as well, it makes you more conscious of where you're spending and where your money is going, tracking your expenses, because you realize, oh, okay, wait, I've just spent another £5 on I don't even know what costs for £5 this day. A Costa coffee. I swear that's probably the price these days, right? So I've just spent another £5 today on Costa, but I spent £5 yesterday and the day before. And looking at my tracker, all I'm seeing is Costa listed for the last 7 days. Doing that just makes you more cognizant and aware of where your money is going, and that will help you curb your spending this summer holiday. So if that's something you've never done before, I definitely challenge you to do that. Track your expenses and see exactly where your money's going this summer holidays, and that will probably help you not overspend when it comes to your kids over the next few weeks. And the last thing I want to say is trying a different mode of transport. So if you're in the UK, you know petrol costs right now are astronomical. It is so expensive to drive in London. I remember the last term of school, a lot of the days I had to walk to school because I didn't want to drive the car. Or should I say my husband did not want me to drive the car because it was costing too much in petrol. So all the journeys that I would ordinarily drive to, I was now having to walk there. And that in itself, yeah, saved us so much money because obviously petrol is so expensive these days, right? So in addition to saving on the cost of fuel, I think trying different modes of transport this summer holiday will be a fun experience for the children. So if you're the person or a person that always drives everywhere, your kids are just used to driving, then why not try taking that same journey or that same trip by bus or by train? Or if you can, if it's not too far, take it by scooter or bicycle or maybe even walk, and just trying different modes of transport and experiencing different modes of transport. Not only will it save you money, it will also be a nice experience for the children because they're not doing the usual mundane thing that they do on a regular basis, on a daily basis. They're doing things that are different to their norm and what they're used to. So yeah, definitely try alternative modes of transport as well. But I'll be interested to know in the comment section below what modes of transport you, oh, let's start again. I'll be interested to know in the comment section below what kind of things you're going to be doing this summer holidays with your kids, number one, and how you're basically budgeting for the summer holidays and things you're doing to keep your costs low this summer holidays. Obviously, I've touched on 9 things that will help with the summer holiday budget, but it'd be good to hear what kind of things you're doing in order to keep track of your money this summer. So that's literally part 2 of the video. So part 1, obviously, I've gone through the 14 restaurants where you can eat for free or at a discounted rate. Again, I will share more in the comment section below. If you guys want more, I'll definitely let you know. And the next thing I shared was 9 different things you can do to save money this summer holidays and save on kids spending and kids enjoyment. Now, the last section and the last thing that I want to cover and go into is the Q&A. And this is something that I will be doing on these lives weekly. So like I said, you can submit your questions over on Instagram in the comment section below, or email me as well. Actually, my email address is in the comment section. Not comment section, sorry. My email address is in the description box below. So however you want to contact me, definitely take advantage of those different modes of contacting and share your questions, submit them, and I will answer them as many of them as I can in the live. So that's the plan anyway. So with that being said, now I'm going to jump into the Q&A and answer the questions that I received over on Instagram. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comment section below. And yeah, I'll answer them too. But for now, I'm going to go through the questions that I have received on my Instagram and also my direct messages as well. Okay, so give me 1 second and let me get them up. Oh my gosh, hold on. Sorry, my apps are like a mess. I've got like so many different apps that I'm trying to go between. Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. So, question number one is: do you think we are becoming a cashless society? I mean, yes, that's a simple question to answer. Definitely becoming a cashless society, much to my frustration, because I think the whole contactless thing is very dangerous. That whole tap and go, it makes us very frivolous with our money because we're not really paying attention to the fact that as we tap, money's leaving our account. It doesn't feel real. It's like almost detaching us from our money. So that whole, yeah, contactless thing is so dangerous. And when they increase that minimum or maximum rather that you can spend by tapping to like £100, I just thought it was crazy because now people just literally spend without thinking twice because it's like, oh yeah, it's £60, £70. It doesn't seem that much because they've made the limit so high. It, how I mean, let me explain that. So this limit is £100, right? So because it's £100, it doesn't feel like £100 anymore because why would they allow us to swipe our card and spend £100 in one go? So anything under £100 seems less significant than it did once upon a time. Because once upon a time, that £30 minimum spend would make us spend up to £30, and thereafter would have to think about it because we have to enter our pin. Whereas now it's like, oh, actually, I could just swipe, tap, and not think twice about it. So yeah, we're definitely becoming a cashless society, and I don't like it. I think we need to go back to the old days of actually spending tangible money. Like my children, they don't realize that money, like they just think money is just infinite because they just see you tap and they don't realize that that's actually money that's leaving you. Whereas if we was spending money physically and getting the change and they were seeing that transaction take place, I think it will have more weight behind it. But yeah, anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. Yes, we are becoming a cashless society for sure. What has being a financial advisor helped you realize? First of all, I'm not a financial advisor. Please don't go and tell people that I'm giving financial advice online because that's not what I do. I'm a money coach, and there's a clear difference between a money coach and a financial advisor. Financial advisors, they're like qualified to give you financial advice and tell you products to invest in and all the rest of it. I don't do that. I'm a money coach. I show people how to manage their personal finances. So I share from my experience of managing money. If you know my story, I was once in a lot of debt, over £36,000, and I was able to subsequently pay it off. And that's kind of what made me embark on this whole financial journey online, sharing the things that I've learned, the things that have helped me when it comes to managing my finances, the things that helped me get out of debt, and the things that have helped me to stay out of debt. That's kind of what I'm online doing, sharing that information with those that want to listen and those that are willing to take it and apply it. But financial advisor, that's not me. But that's not even your question. You were saying what has it helped me to realize. So I guess being a money coach, I can say what it's helped me realize. It's helped me realize that there is a need for what we do as coaches because so you realize when you work with people one on one how many people need help with their personal finances because from the outside looking in, things can always look better than they really are. But it's only when you sit down with people and you look at the numbers that you realize, oh my gosh, like people need help. And it's not even like, okay, people need help in terms of the fact that cost of living is out of control. That's a side, and that is definitely an issue. But just in terms of the management of their money day to day, I think people need help because it doesn't matter how much you earn. If you don't know how to manage it, you're going to lose that money regardless. And I think that's what I've come to realize the more I work with people is that people have money, but they may not necessarily be managing it in the best way for themselves. And yeah, it just shows that there's a lot of work to be done in that financial education space. And yeah, I think that's one thing I've definitely learned is that, yeah, there's a lot to learn and there's a lot of people that need that help. And also for myself, I think I've learned that I guess I'm capable of more than I think I'm capable of because, yeah, once upon a time, if you had told me to start coaching people one on one, I'll be like, hell no, who am I to be telling people about money? But here I am, fast forward a few years later, sharing my money journey and helping other people on their financial journeys too. So, yeah, definitely, I've learned a lot over the past couple of years since being a money coach or a finance coach, not an advisor. Okay, so the next question is, oh gosh, hold on. How have you found going back to work? Oh, good question. Okay, so I went back to work part-time May last year now. So I've been working 3 days a week, Monday to Wednesday, and then doing the coaching and the content stuff on the side since then. And I think it's a nice balance for me because yes, I have that fixed, steady income from my 9 to 5 job, but then I'm able to also work on the side to build my side projects, but also have the time that I need to spend with my family as well, which is very important to me. So I think going back to work has been good in terms of, having that, like I said, stable income, and also being around other people as well that are not just my kids. That's also been good. But it's also good because I work part time. I don't know how people work full time with kids. Hats off to them. I rate them highly because it is a lot. I remember last year, I think around August, September, I went from 3 days up to 4 days, thinking I was a soldier and I can do it all. And I quickly realized it was too much for me. And I dropped back down to the 3 days a week because it was just too much for me. I couldn't keep up. I couldn't do it all. And that's the thing. We can't do everything. Like, as much as, women want to be super women and be like, yeah, I'm a boss mom, I can do this, I can do that. Listen, you're only human. Don't come and wear yourself into the ground just so that people can say you're sick, you're a boss. Like, no, take your time, relax, pace yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And yeah, that's what I've got to say about that. The next question is, do you feel like an influencer or a content creator? Gosh, do I feel like an influencer? I don't like that word influencer, because I feel like an influencer. When I think of influencers, I just think of, like, I don't know, Patricia Bright and Jackie Aina. To me, those are influencers, right? But I guess if you actually think like logically, not even logically, but actually think about what I do, it is influencing people, hopefully in a positive way, to become more conscious of how they spend their money and curb their impulse spending. So yes, I'm hoping that I am an influencer in that respect, in terms of influencing people to make better money decisions. But influence, I guess, in the traditional way, or the way we think of them when we think of it, like beauty, fashion, yeah, that's that's definitely not me, boy. This is not the channel you come to if you want that kind of content. Like, yeah, I'm not that person. But yeah, I do think I influence people in that way, hopefully to be, good with their monies, good stewards of their finances and all that jazz. But then equally, content creator, I'd say, is what I am. I'm a finance content creator. That's what I enjoy doing. Yes, I was ghost for like 6 months of this year, sorting my life out, but I'm back now to creating the finance content, and I am definitely enjoying being back online with you guys. So yeah, definitely I would consider myself a content creator, and yeah, influencer. Definitely would not refer to myself as that at all. Okay, so back to the questions. So my other list. So I had two different lists that I'm looking at. So the next list. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, is it possible to do lots of activities and maintain a clean house? Because just trying to leave the house creates mess, and by the time we get back, I'm too tired to clean. Listen, cleaning. That is the bane of my life, literally. I don't like cleaning. I don't enjoy it. I was about to say I don't do it, which would be the truth, but you can't hear that on the internet. I do clean, but not as often as I probably should. And that's one of the things that I just have to accept. I can't do everything. I try my best, and that's all I can do. And I think mums, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Like, social media and things like that can have you thinking that people are perfect and people live a perfect life. You see their houses, everyone's house is perfect, kitchen is spotless, living room spotless, the kids are well dressed, well presented. Nobody's life is like that on a day-to-day basis. Like, don't let them fool you. Nobody lives like that. Well, I don't believe so anyway. I definitely don't. I think, yeah, you can't do everything to perfection all the time. That's just not life at the end of the day. I think the main thing is that, there's no hazards, I guess, in the house, and it is clean and not like disgusting, and your kids are like in squalor, because yeah, that's not hygienic, it's not safe, and it's not a healthy environment for the kids to grow up in. But all you can do is your best, and depending on the ages of your little ones, I would say teach them from as young as you can. Like, literally from when they can walk, they can like put things in the dirty basket, or attempt to make their beds. Like, literally get them doing things from as young as you can, because I think that's one of the mistakes I probably made with my little ones, is that I didn't utilize them enough from a young age. And it's only now that they're 3, 5, and 7 that I'm now getting them to do more stuff around the house. But definitely don't try and be superwoman doing every single thing for everybody in your family. Do what you can and get everybody involved. We're all part of this family. We all live in this house, so we should all pull our weight and do our part, and don't beat yourself up if you fall short or you're not able to do everything. I think the main thing is that the kids are healthy, the kids are happy, they're loved, they're well fed. And yes, the environment does need to be clean to an extent, but it's like, stop seeking perfection. Like, there's more to life than a perfectly clean house, in my opinion anyway. But some may disagree. But yeah, I'm not the most domesticated of people, so you're talking to the wrong person in terms of leaving the house in a bit of a state before you go out, and then coming home and being tired and sleeping. Listen, give yourself credit, give yourself grace. You're only human. There's only so much you can do. Like, yeah, there's only so many hours in a day. How can you be spending 7 of it every day cleaning? Just, yeah, to me, it doesn't make sense. Once I can afford a cleaner, I will be getting one. I definitely want a cleaner. But for now, I just have to manage the way I can. But yeah, you can't do it all, is what I would say to you. So don't even kill yourself trying. What free clubs are available? Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you on here because they're too local to me and I can't be giving my location on the internet. But what I would say is check your library out, because your library, a lot of local clubs promote their services and the events and activities that they're doing via the library, and like local coffee shops or local like restaurants, not necessarily like your Costas and that, but like the non-branded, that's not even what you call them, as in like single sole trader type businesses. They tend to be the ones that you can do your promotions there, and they'll have like flyers there. So like even like the Jamaican shops around my area, they have like flyers for summer activities that are going on in my area, and a lot of them are free. So I would say do that. Also check Facebook, like I said earlier, places like Facebook, Google, good old Google, like Google never fails. If you literally Google clubs in my area, you'll be surprised at what forums and groups come up. And then utilize your network. Literally put in a WhatsApp status, like, anyone know any clubs that are happening in the area that are free that I can take my little ones to? Because it's literally by talking to others and having conversations with other people that you find out what's available for you. Because if you don't talk, you don't know. Like, for example, one of my kids, all of my kids, or two of my kids, sorry, they do jiu-jitsu at the moment, and that is free. It's a community funded activity that they do every Friday. It's in our local park, and it's absolutely free. And it's free, and we only know about it because somebody told my husband. So it's like, if he never had that conversation with this guy, we would have never known about that free club that they could have gone to. So it's just by having these conversations and asking each other that you find out about things that you didn't know were necessarily available. So I have a few mum WhatsApp group, and in those groups, people are always like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this summer. I found this free activity." And I think just sharing is caring. That's why I'm here, sharing everything I share on the internet. And there's so many other people like myself that also share content online, Instagram as well. There's so many amazing pages that share loads of personal finance content. Sorry, no, I didn't mean to say personal finance content. I mean, there's loads of pages on Instagram that do mum's day out, things to do for free. Just look them up, and yeah, you'll find that information on there for sure. But definitely good old Google. If all else fails, I'll say check that out for sure. Uh, I want to take the family away for a few days for under £500. Okay, so what I would suggest, this is what I did in our Easter break, is we took our kids camping. No, we did not take our kids camping. We took our kids to a caravan park. And this is something that my husband recommended. We've done it 2 years in a row now, and the kids absolutely love it. And I think it cost us like, it's definitely under £500. I think it was like 450, around that price range. And that was for the 5 nights for me, my husband, and my 3 children. And it's like a campsite. There's caravan site, sorry, and it's got everything included. So you've got the swimming pool, you've got the arcades, they've got entertainment there in the day and in the night for the kids. They've got swimming. They've just got parks on the site, and the caravan in itself is a cool experience for the kids. And yeah, that literally did not cost too much at all, but it was so fun, and the kids had an absolute blast. So it's definitely something that you should consider trying. I remember, like I said, last year I was not up for it at all, but I went anyway because I was being a good wife, right? But I actually enjoyed it, and the kids enjoyed it too. And then this year I was even excited to go. So definitely, if you never tried it, it's an experience, and I would say check it out. What I would also say is see where you can go in Europe by driving. So like one of my friends, she took her little ones to, was it France? I think she went to France. Yes, I'm sure she went to France, and she went for a week, and she paid like £300 or £400 because she drove there. So just do your research, I would say, and see. But £500, you'll be surprised at what you can get for that money. just, yeah, shop around, I would say. Uh, Planning a free day out for 3 kids. Okay, well, I think I've talked about that enough in this video, but 3 days out, check out the video, which I'll link in the description box below, with 33 things for you to do with your kids this summer holiday. And then also, if you scroll back to the beginning of this video, I spoke about places that you can eat for free or for cheap with your little ones as well. So hopefully within those 2 areas, I've covered that question, and you can see loads of different places that you can take your kids for free this summer holiday. And the last question I have is, lol. So I'm saying lol because I'm reading the question. How to feed 3 starving kids for 6 weeks without breaking the bank? Okay, so 6 weeks holiday, these kids will have you thinking that they're starving when they're not. We have to remember that they go to school, right? When they go to school, they have I think they have one morning snack. They might have, yeah, the morning snack, which is a fruit, by the way. They have a piece of fruit, then they have their lunch, and then they have a piece of fruit in the evening or afternoon before you pick them up. So at home, there's no need for them to be eating 7 times within the day before it's even time for dinner. So I think if you could keep them on that same routine and let them have meal time, so set breakfast, lunch, and dinner time, I think that would help to kind of curb the extra eating that they would want to do given the opportunity. And also don't let them eat because they're bored. I noticed that pattern with my little ones emerging, which again I had to find a way to curb. So when they tell me I'm hungry after they've just finished having their snack, then I know that no, you're not hungry, you're just bored, in which case I can give you some work to do. And then suddenly, oh no, I don't want to eat anymore. They go off and they play. So I think just knowing that they don't need to eat as much as they make you think they need to eat. A lot of the times they're not actually hungry, they're just bored and they just want to do something. I guess they're no different to us as adults, because I know I do the same thing when I'm bored or I just need to pick me up like halfway through the working day. I'm like, oh, what can I go and eat? It's just natural. That's what we want to do. So I think keep them busy, keep them active, and yeah, keep them doing things so that they're not thinking all the time, let me just default and eat. And then also what I'd say as well is portion control with the little ones as well. So no, you don't need to eat 7 biscuits in one sitting. You can eat 2 to 3 maximum. And once you've done that, don't come back again in 2 hours again saying, can I have more biscuit? So I think just really monitoring how much you're letting them consume, because left to their own devices, they will definitely eat you out of house and home, is what I would say. But yeah, oh my gosh, that's all my questions that I had there. I haven't seen any new questions in the comment section, although my comment section was taken over by all these spammers, which is very annoying. First time that's happened to me, but I guess it comes with the territory. But hopefully it didn't disturb you guys too much in terms of this live. But that is literally all I had for you on today's video. So like I said, or no, I haven't said actually, but I will say here, I do one-to-one money coaching with clients. So if you are an impulse spender, you're looking to get on top of your finances, set yourself some financial goals, and build and create the perfect money management system for yourself, then definitely click the link in my bio to book yourself in for a discovery call. We'll have a chat about your current situation. I have a few questions that I'll ask you to complete ahead of the call, actually, just to get a bit more of an understanding about what your financial position looks like right now, and see if I can kind of be the coach to help you. Because what I don't do is just say yes to everybody, because if I don't think I can get you the results you want, or I don't think we're a good fit for each other, then there's no point in us, wasting each other's time. But it will be good to kind of see if I can help you on your financial journey, what that looks like, how we can, help you create that transformation that you need. Definitely click the link in the description box below and book yourself in, and we can have that conversation. Also, like I mentioned early on in the video, I do have my budget template. So it's literally the budget that I've been using for the past like 4 or 5 years now to manage my money. It has helped hundreds of others to manage their budgets too, which is absolutely amazing to think that other people are using the budget template that I just created for myself and for my family finances. But here we are, and people are being transformed or transforming their finances using that template. So again, I'll link it in the description box below. It's a simple zero-based budget template. I have a free version, which is even more simply lol, it's even more simplified. And then I have the paid version, which has the expenses tracker. It has your each month budget and loads of beautiful pie charts and all the rest of it, so that you can kind of see exactly how much you're spending versus how much you said you're going to spend and all that jazz. But that's linked again in the description box below, so you can grab your copies. I also have a printed budget template actually, which if I have enough requests for, I will do a small print run so you can have those as physical budget templates. I know some people do like writing, you old school people like to write in a budget. No, to be fair, I like writing things down too. Like I love a good notepad. But yeah, all of that anyway is linked to the description box below. And like, if you do want a printed version, just DM me, let me know, and I can definitely sort that out for you. But that is literally it for today's live. So thank you for every single person that has joined. If you do have any further questions between now and next week's live, then just DM me and I'll see if I can answer it. If I can't, I'll add it to the agenda for next Tuesday's live. But I'll be back this time next week to have another conversation about another interesting topic. So tell a friend to tell a friend, and yeah, save this live and share it. And I will see you guys on next week's live. Have a lovely evening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.